Welcome back to another episode of Club ENTP. I'm your host, Daparu the Crusha. If you don't know what an ENTP is, that's okay. If you don't know what MBTI is, that's not okay. That's probably really confusing for you. So we're going to explain that right now. MBTI is Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And we use this to determine what a person's type is among a group of 64 spectrum of personality types. So I just want to get that out there because I guess I'm not clear enough. Maybe perhaps people don't know what an ENTP is in the world of MBTI. We're just talking letters and jumbo. So we now have an understanding. I'm glad we cleared that up. But I also want to clear something up too. We have two guests today. Can you believe it? Two guests today. I am just excited to introduce them here in just one moment. We're going to get this show kicked off quickly and without any incident, I hope, unless that squirrel. Where's that squirrel's been driving me nuts lately. So I really am excited to say, welcome Haiku Sue. She makes haikus just for fun. I really like them. And also, all the way down from the armpit of Canada, a comedian with a kick. It's Haiku, DangeRUSS. In the flesh. So let's just get started right away. Everyone, let's give them a big hand, a big club welcome. Yeah, woo! That's awesome. Be careful, there's sometimes sneaker waves behind you. Sneaker waves. Yes. And, all right, so we have Sue and DangeRUSS. And we are actually live. We're doing it finally. After so long, we're finally in the clubhouse. And we're also a part of another club that I created called Club Cloud 9. Oh, I have my shirt on that was generously donated to me by a young couple that went to Nepal for 6 months to create and make this for me, just to send it back with themselves. And now they're home. You know who you are. Love you guys. But yeah, this is another club that I mentioned that I have. And the reason is because I have been a club leader since I was 9, because I have a big tree house.
Kind of a caveman sort of a guy. I always have a club.
No, not at all. Not even close. I have not. So this is now I'm really doubting your intuition. I'm just perplexed now. Because I want to determine DangeRUSS's personality type, but I think the best way to start that is ask him the obvious question. Russ, DangeRUSS, what's your passion?
I have a lot of focuses. However, surely the biggest focus in my life has been martial arts. I've been involved in martial arts since I was 6 years old.
Like martial as in like Marshall Mathers, like Eminem?
Yeah, the marital arts.
You like M&Ms? Just come out and say it.
I am a master of the marital arts.
I didn't think you were going to bring up that master stuff, but here we are already.
Indeed we are.
Injecting the mastery. What belt level are you? In Kempo, I believe, correct?
My primary background, I've been involved in a lot of different things. My primary background is Kempo. I actually started in Judo initially, and then I moved over into Kempo. I started teaching when I was 9, and I've actually had my own school since I was 11.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, I wanted to know, was it any influence from the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, that you went into Kempo?
I was in it long before he was, I believe.
You were? Okay, that's cool.
I was
cool.
more like the legend Frank Mir, who was a dojo rat like me and literally grew up. His parents ran a Kempo school.
Yeah.
His mom and dad did, and so he grew up in the school. So did I. I was there 6 days a week as a kid. I was there from noon until 9 at night in the summer, and during school I was there after school. I did my homework in the locker room and would stay through all of the classes and then fight at the end of the night in the sparring class at 9 till 9:30 or 10 and go home. That was 6 days a week.
Yeah. So you just completely absorbed, which makes me believe that you have a judging sense as opposed to a just perceptive. So which would lead me to ask, when you are in a task that you don't necessarily love, are you so focused that you don't let anything interrupt you generally, or are you looking for excuses to go cut out early? And
Well, but one of my current jobs, I run a detail shop, so that requires intense focus and detail on something that I absolutely abhor.
Yeah. So when you
And it requires it for 8 hours or 10 hours at a time.
right, so you're forced to be punctual and timely. Yeah. And you obviously have no problem with that. Fits your personality. You're able to.
I can
Task-oriented.
apply myself when needed. That was one of the things at martial arts. It's very goal-oriented, so it started me off on that path early on.
Yeah, true. So that's just amazing discipline that you received in that. So that becomes, it's because your personality is such that it desired that kind of structure. I don't believe it made you any different. It's just your personality gravitated towards structure in that way. And what an amazing history that you've displayed over the years of all the photography taken and all the fighting techniques that you've been teaching. And I mean, there's just so much information. It really is overwhelming. So congrats on that. That's obviously your passion.
That's certainly one of my biggest passions.
What about your new passion? What is this I hear about street beefs? Are you any way affiliated with that in any?
I've been kind of on the ground floor of a local amateur fight club that is a local branch of the group Street Beefs.
Mm-hmm.
And they call themselves the Scrap Yard. They're based out of Gig Harbor, Washington.
Right.
And I've been there pretty much since day one.
It's true.
They
never asked me back.
Been kind of behind the scenes since day one, helping out in a lot of different ways of connecting with sponsors and
we like sponsors.
Working security and just kind of hanging out in the background from day one.
What about, have you ever worked in security?
I've done security. I've done a lot of
insecurity. That's just it was a trick question.
I don't think I've ever been particularly insecure. I certainly
Not
have
at
never.
all. You are not lacking in self-confidence.
I've certainly never worn that badge openly. Anyway.
No. I would. Yeah. Now, is it true that you're fighting your girlfriend Sue here in 1 week from Saturday?
Well, I do have a blind challenge for my weight class, and there is a slight. I think there's a 10-pound either way weight
discrepancy. Yeah. Okay.
Weight gap that's allowed in
Do
this.
they weigh you actually on the day of, or
on the day of? Yeah, they're
I'm sure it's not like 24 hours, but like not quite there yet.
No,
not yet.
In fact, it's completely amateur, so that means nobody's getting paid for any of the fights. Mm-hmm. There's no wagering.
Right. Okay. Wink, wink. Yeah.
It's simply for the love of the fight. People are getting out here and they're doing all kinds of things. They do. They have straight up boxing matches, they have kickboxing matches, they have grappling matches, and they have full blown MMA matches.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of the grappling matches, and it's catching on here. I've got a lot of friends who are in the Couve who are trying to get associated with the guys up in your neck of the woods. So
Well,
we're looking forward to some
I've
interesting
got the hookup
action.
for them. You can, certainly give them my contact information, or
Yeah,
also
call my secretary. She'll give you all the information.
Street Beef Scrapyard. Steve Hagera, the Fire Chicken, is the gentleman that runs that organization.
Right.
He's a solid dude.
Yeah. Well, he's having a lot of success, so I love to see things that start, especially when it's so close to home. It's just, speaking of close to home, what do you think about this Ricky Simone?
Oh man, he's a beast. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see championship in his near future. Like, we're talking months to years. Like, maybe not even 2. Just within a year and a half, I would say. I'm calling it, and what is it? It's 2021 still?
It's 2021.
Are we only through,
we're
March?
just getting
It's
kicked off.
3/20/2021.
Are we in the March 20s?
We're a
somewhere?
month before 420.
Oh, you heard that, people. That's
Exactly a month before.
yes. We'll be
T-minus
having
1
a
month.
Club Cloud9 / Club ENTP show that day, I would imagine. So I'm looking forward to that.
I
Yeah,
would
it would be
imagine
fun.
that would be appropriate.
It would be, especially here in the Northwest. It wouldn't be appropriate if we didn't, actually. We would be wasting our newly found freedom. That's like throwing, good food away.
And this wouldn't be wrong. We fought for this for years. For the
Right.
ability to sit around and celebrate.
We fought to be lazy. Now, Sue, what's your passion? Yeah, your passion.
How?
Making up new languages
Oh,
is
yeah,
among
that's
her
good.
specialties.
That was point A, exhibit A, huh? Yes.
I don't think that I have the focus to determine one particular passion. Words, language,
Right, okay.
that would be the closest thing. I mean, that's pretty darn general, but...
So now I know
that's
you wanted
what-
to play me a word game, and you would have cleaned me up, wouldn't you? You would
I
have
may
won.
have. I
And
may have.
an ENTP is extremely competitive, so that's a side of the ENTP you don't always want to see. So yeah, me in games, no. But Mortal Kombat, yeah, that's get in a cage and fight. It's funny that I have incorporated this cage fighting theme with my show,
Yeah.
and it's just simply because that's one of my passions as well.
Well, there's a lot of parallels that you can set for martial arts in almost any aspect of life. Again, the obvious step-by-step goal settings. Whether you're a professional MMA fighter or you're training in a traditional martial art, you start at point A and you work your way towards either competition or your next belt level or whatever it is. You have a goal out in front of you. You got to work from point A to point B and get through point C in order to get to point D. So you
Could we just maybe not go through the entire alphabet, please? 4K cameras take a lot of memory, my friend. So yeah, that's interesting. But so you're into just wordsmithing.
Wordsmithing, I used to be, and I'm not anymore, so don't ask me to speak Spanish fluently.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn Japanese at the moment, but I think I need an actual instructor rather than doing it on my own.
So you would the way you would go about learning it, would you be just wanting to immerse yourself in it and listening to it, or would you want to be learning the alphabet and how it's pronounced and each word and how it's spelled?
Yes, to both. A few years back, I tried to learn the katakana and hiragana for Japanese, and got to a point where I needed. I'm going to need somebody to guide me on how to move this forward.
Right.
But my dream would be to go and live in Japan for, I don't know, 6 months to a year,
Oh,
and learn the
that's very
language while I'm
interesting.
there.
That's excellent. And
And
you're
then move on
immersed.
to another country and learn that.
But aren't you afraid of that little girl with the black hair? It's gonna be like,
No, I'm
you're not afraid of that? I'm like,
not
it's so
frightened of it.
beautiful, but that little girl with the little
coming
black,
out of the well? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go there now. I cross it off my bucket list. So
No, I'm more afraid of what was the nuclear plant that blew up?
Fukushima.
That I'm more afraid of that.
Yes. Yeah, that's really upsetting, but it's hitting us directly over here on the other side of the Pacific. So that's interesting. So
That might be a tsunami coming in behind you.
Soon.
That's
Yeah,
tsunami.
tsunami. So we have a pontificator over here. Yes. So, yeah. So the first question I should be asking you really is, do you get energy from a large group of people, or does it drain you slowly or quickly, or
Drains me quickly.
quickly? Okay. So introversion would be your
I'm
go-to.
definitely an introvert.
Lots of time alone.
Actually, I hate being alone.
Oh, okay.
But I don't like
That's interesting.
large crowds.
Okay, so, and that is for any particular reason? Is it, because there's 4 different types of introversion. You have the type that just hates people.
I don't hate people.
Okay, that's good. Just I don't care about the other 3. I just want to know how much you hate people.
I don't hate people.
Okay, so that's good. I love people. I love them, and until they give me a good reason not to.
Yes.
And that's.
Did you check her for knives before you brought her in?
I expect her for knives. I would expect, being around you, I would imagine you have at least 7 of you on your body at this moment. And look at, he does it. Look at the poker face, trying not to reveal his.
In Japan,
his,
the hand may be used as a knife.
It is. That's right. And then that would be Ginsu.
Ah, Ginsu!
Ah, see, I also do. Very
If you call
funny,
before
Jojo.
midnight tonight, you can have us both for only $49.95.
But wait.
Too good to be true, dude. So we have an introversion. Now, are you detail oriented, which I'm thinking you are? Do you like shiny things? Do you like your stuff? Do you like to make sure that people don't mess up your stuff?
Absolutely.
You're an S. So
I
you're
don't know if
sensory.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Do I like shiny stuff? I like to say, ooh, shiny, but like if it's silver jewelry, I prefer it to be slightly tarnished.
That's interesting. I have for no particular reason. Slightly tarnished. Oh, hi! This is a beautiful wedding here. But where's the tarnish?
I need some patina right now.
I told you. Are you bringing home more of that Tarnex? So not to get off on that shiny objects, but I'm very easily distracted. But what I'm
squirrel.
Did you see it too? Okay, good. So it really reminds me of when a person's a sensory, they are more interested in details. Like if you see 10 objects, you take inventory of those objects in somewhat detail. But as an intuitive, they would look at the 10 objects and stop after 1 or 2 and then just deeply contemplate the one that they and they don't even care to get to the other ones until they want to figure that out right away.
No,
She did very recently confess to me that she wanted to be a squirrel.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I do too.
For 2
I actually
weeks,
do.
I would like to be a squirrel. For
Yeah,
2 weeks.
with
Exactly
rabies,
2
and I know
weeks.
right where I want to go and who to bite. No, I'm kidding.
No, if there were 10 items, I would look at all 10, but then I would pick out the 3 or 4 that I found most interesting and try to figure out how maybe they could interact with each other.
So essentially, you're going to break them down into categories.
Yeah, essentially.
You're very sensory, I would believe. So IS, and then the third would be either you're a feeler or a thinker. And I don't take you as a feeler. Do you get your feelings hurt often?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, but I don't let other people know that unless they ask me directly.
Because you're introverted, probably would have something to do with your introversion. But you're non-confrontational with your feelings. Okay,
yeah.
So when you make a decision about, like, I see my halfway friend acquaintance that lives in my apartment complex or whatever, saw his wife cheating on him. Okay, these guys are both from Germany, and this guy might, he's a buddy I drink beer with in the jacuzzi. Okay, and I was like, I saw he was off to Germany, and I said, I saw your wife with another guy. She's cheating on you. And he was just like brokenhearted. I'm like, oh man, I don't feel bad that I told you, because he said thank you, so I'm like, okay, I did him a favor. But if I were a feeler, I would really have a lot of second thoughts about that, I would think. What would you do in that situation?
Oh,
Not a close friend, just a drinking
not
buddy.
a close friend, just a drinking buddy.
Just that you see all the time. So you're gonna have to see him again eventually when you go to the jacuzzi.
I guess
So one of the comedians in the circle.
I guess I would probably pass on far too subtle hints.
Oh, okay.
Far too subtle hints.
Yeah.
That way, if he had any inkling or suspicion, that it would just salt it.
Okay.
But I don't think I would be able to come right out and say it, because that's none of my business.
No, but if you're an ENTP, you don't give a damn. That's just what we just do. We point out the obvious, and we criticize people's thinking. And when they make decisions based on feeling, we give them hell. We love them. We want them to think. Like make decisions based on thought, not feeling. So I saved my friend $450,000
On his car insurance?
No, because he was going in on. They had just sold a house, and they were going to reinvest it into a company and stay at the condos where we were in. So he ended up saying, "You know what? I'm taking the money. I'm running. Thanks."
Wow.
And he got the lawyers. It was all done. They never. So what do you want to do? And do you want to be? That's why I'd criticize people who wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't criticize it. I'm not criticizing you, but I could if I wanted to. I could just say, well, I saved my friend $450,000. You're no friend. I mean, you could think of it that way. Like, see, when you don't put yourself out there, an ENTP can't come up with a reason why not to tell them.
Well, see, I, on the other hand, though, I know this German guy and I drink beer with him in the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
So I know him that much.
Right.
I haven't really made any relationship with the woman, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't have, and I would have been on her side, perhaps. Well, maybe she's cheating on him because he abandons her emotionally.
Maybe he went to the Venus Schnitzel and didn't quite tell her everything about this.
So I don't know. So
I
I
don't
would
know.
feel guilty about
I did feel him.
I would feel guilty
Not
about
into
maybe
the
screwing her
all-you-can
life.
swallow sausage buffet while he was in Germany.
I knew that would get Russ going. That's all I gotta do. Just add sausage. So yeah, that's interesting. So we're pretty much completely understanding of what you are, but to be sure that you are a judger and not a perceiver is you would be. What do you consider yourself to be? A person that gets things done without being interrupted? Tasks?
Oh, I much prefer to be able to plow on through something rather than be interrupted or put it aside.
Right. But do you, of your own volition and power, make sure that happens generally?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a judger. Perceptive would be like, well, not if I want to go like to the river and smoke a doobie and maybe write a poem and and write another poem and smoke another doobie. that might be a perceptive. I wouldn't know anyone like that.
No, it would be writing a haiku. That's not at all like writing a poem.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. How many haiku have I got in my phone right now? I have like 690 haiku in my phone that I wrote.
Wow. Oh, are you kidding me? Can you give me your favorites?
Oh, come on, you know them.
I don't.
Sure
I
you
don't
do.
know them. Where are they?
But can you say it in iambic pentameter?
Iambic pentameter. Okay. International. Après Krav Maga haiku. Don't quit and survive.
Love it. Love it. Another. Love
Another?
It. Yeah, please.
Okay.
You've got how many? We've got lots of time.
How many have I got? I need to get down to the bottom of it, and it's got a number. 690, and then I've got at least another 30 in other collections.
Wow.
So I guess that's over 700. Let's see. So many of them are such downers, I don't want to share that.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear what a downer sounds like to an ISFJ. That's what you are. You're an ISFJ.
Have you all noticed the superfluous nothing invading my mind?
Have you all noticed the superfluous nothing inhabiting my mind?
Invading my mind?
Invading my mind. No, I haven't.
Yeah, well, I guess you're not a feeler.
Superfluous. I don't think I've ever said the word superfluous.
Yeah.
My God, you look like Bruce Willis.
Brew?
Yeah. Say
Bruh.
yippee-ki-yay.
Kaim.
There you go. So tell me about the dope show. We already determined her. That was easy.
Too open.
It was great.
What do you want to know? You attended one with me.
I did. That was
You
one of the
attended
most
one.
amazing times because I was the only person in that bus that was standing up, and all the people that were sitting down were stand-up comedians, and I'm the only one that wasn't a stand-up.
So what the deal is it's a comedy show where the comedians come out and they do a short set of comedy straight, and then Tyler takes them off scene and gets them completely, totally, and utterly annihilated. He gets them absolutely baked by courtesy of one of the local dispensaries.
Wow.
And then brings them on and they do another set, or attempt to. And then oftentimes at these events, they have the ability that you can go out and hang out with the comedians post-show on a party bus. And that's what Mr. Daparu there
That's
is
right.
referring to. The
Yeah.
last time we went, we got to hang out on the party bus with the comedians after the show, and that always gets very interesting.
It was epic. It was absolutely epic, especially when a couple of the comedians were over 6'6", big dudes, and they looked fierce. And I had to remain, eye contact with them, or they could have eaten me alive.
You were pretty wound up that night, and you kept trying to jump up in that guy's face.
No, what the hell are you talking? An ENTP would never jump in the face of a man over 6'6". Would never have. Well, okay.
How many times did he tell you to sit down, boy?
Well, because I think he was, worried that I had better stand-up than he had sitting down. And my material showed it, because I did actually test out some of my material on him, which I'm inviting you to at any point inject any material you may have. So tell me about your own experiences as a recently what's the word that with the not retired, but you began
self-imposed exile
Oh
during
my God!
the
I don't even know what to call it.
Pandemic-imposed exile.
Like you're a comedian, but now you're not a comedian because you can't open up in a club anymore. Like, what's happening?
Fortunately things are starting to turn around, and I was just kind of starting to get the feel for that. I kind of put my foot in my mouth in front of an old-time friend who's been doing this for a long time. I'd watched one too many shows with some really talented comedians, and then a lot of people I thought, well, I can do that. I can do at least that good. And I opened my mouth one too many times, and he said, great, what are you doing this weekend? And suddenly I was now performing as a comedian, and kind of took a role from that, and was doing every weekend, I was doing a show somewhere, sometime getting time in front of the mic. And then suddenly
couldn't believe hearing all this, just one gig after another. I'm like, you just started. He's like, every week, multiple. I mean, I was getting a little jealous. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start writing material. I
was just feeling like I was starting to get the feel of things and learn to play the audience a little bit and how to work things, and starting to have fun with it, where it was less of, oh my God, I'm standing up here and I don't know what I'm doing. To, all right, I'm having fun with this. It's kind of it's kind of fun now.
Yeah.
And then the world shut down.
Right.
And suddenly there was nothing.
Yeah. And you put yourself in that position though to be, and you knew you wanted to do it, but you tasted it and you loved it.
I did. It's something that I looked at for a long time. Thought that that's something that'd be fun to do, but I just didn't have time. And it's not that You know, I've always kind of been, I've had a lot of opportunities to be up in front of people, whether doing public speaking or sales training. I've done plays and community theater and things like that. So I've done a lot of other things. I've just never done stand-up comedy. And that was an entirely different thing because most of the other things you're interacting with somebody else. If you're doing a play, somebody says something and you interact with them. You know, you feed off whatever they're doing. When you're doing comedy, you have nobody but yourself. There's no net. It's just you and the audience.
Right.
And until you realize that they are your instrument, you have to learn how to play them and make them do what you want them to do.
Right. So do you think that it's because you are extroverted that you feed off of the public?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure you are too, yeah. So getting to the next letter in Myers-Briggs type indicator, you're finishing other people's sentences, which makes me believe you are intuitive, but you like those shiny things. And sensory is someone who, I would say, my friends who are more, wish that they would have been with more girls in high school, you know, than the ones that just, like the intuitives that say, well, I'm glad I didn't, you know, get with the wrong girl, and I'm glad I didn't, you know, mess around with too many girls and, you know, break too many hearts, or, you know. You're not that guy.
You're neither of those guys.
You're neither of those. So every sensory that I've ever talked to, they always seem to have that, like, you know, they like the physicality of relationships, and an intuitive likes the nice long walks on the beach and talks. You're the rock and roll, or the long walks on the beach.
I can do both of those.
You walk on the beach to get the.
Oftentimes,
it's a means to an end, or it's an ends to a means. I don't know.
well, again, you know. So case in point, one of my other passions is photography. So we spend a lot of time walking down beaches, so we can take pictures.
Oh,
so
your photography is amazing.
Well, again, those are a lot of long walks places. Right. So I do. So that.
So your idea, you're detailed though, and that's another thing is. Intuitives aren't too detailed. Like I could be looking for something and it's right in front of me and I just don't even see it because I'm thinking what I'm going to do with it when I get it. You know, I'm like I don't even see what's in front of me. You're a sensory guy, so I shouldn't base it off of a person's sex drive. Then is that what you're saying?
I would say that was probably incorrect. For you to.
I guess that says I have a low sex drive.
Judge me by my size, would you?
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't.
So I think we can establish that you're an ES, and then you're a thinker as opposed to a feeler, because you would definitely not have reservations of telling someone the truth, even if it hurts their feelings, because you know what, you just logically think they need to know that. That will make them stronger.
Very logic oriented.
Super logical. So that leads me to the end, which I determine you are already a J, because you are so determined to getting things done, persistent at it, that you are then, for the record, an ESTJ, the most common type out there in the world. You're that guy. You're the guy that gets shit done. You're the guy that makes the world go around. You're the controller, the boss. You're not second in command at anything. Am I right or wrong?
Not for very long.
Not for very long, right? There you go. Like you go in for a job interview and you're interviewing them for your position while you take their job.
Well, I've got in for an interview and they were to a sales job and they were busy. They were swamped when I walked into the place. Yeah. So I just jumped in and started selling stuff and figuring out what people wanted, helping them up to the counter and telling people to write them up. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm the new employee. I'm the guy you were going to interview a little while ago, but you don't need to because I'm already doing your job."
Yeah, there you go. Dude, if it wasn't for people like you, we wouldn't have civilization. Oh, is that?
I think I exploded.
Yeah, you just, did it turn off? Or is it still on? Oh, good. Yeah, you can put it right there. That's good. So that was quick. That was really fast. And So what do you have to say? Any questions about what it's like to be? Oh, well, first of all, you're a thinker, and you're a feeler. You're a thinker. Have you ever been called an asshole?
That's kind of my middle name. I'm an asshole.
I'm an asshole, yo.
I've always identified with Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
He made my theme song.
I would like to have a beer with that guy.
I wouldn't do.
I'd even do a line of coke with him, even though I don't do coke. He looks like he's a cokehead. But anyways, yeah, he must be a cokehead. He's got to be.
I think he's.
Let's cut that part out. What is it?
I think he seriously was. I
Oh,
think
yeah?
that he went sober.
Went sober for how long? No, so anyways, not to make this about Dennis Leary, but I'm leery of making it about him. But I think what I was trying to explain is that feelers aren't hardly ever known as assholes, or for females, bitches. So, and my theory is that Pablo Picasso must have been a feeler, because nobody ever called, Pablo Picasso was never called an asshole. We all know that, right, from the punk days of the 80s? Subsequently, Pablo Picasso was never called an asshole. Yeah, well, this was fun, and
That was obscure.
yeah, everything's obscure. I mean, I have an abstract cam, so also a random cam. Random cam. So just whenever I feel like it, I'm just going to randomly have the camera just go off to a corner, or
You need a drone.
That's better than
I have a drone.
It should just be hovering.
I have a drone. I can fly.
I'd rather have a random cam than a candy gram.
That's right. And so it's great to finally meet you again for the umpteenth time, because you're all the way up in Seattle, and every time you come down here in our parts, it seems like I have to get reacquainted for at least an hour, but to caught up on all the things that are going on. So
Well, you can't always make it down to the savage lands down here. So
right. Well, especially when they're not doing any stand-up comedy down here.
It's hard to rationalize leaving civilization to come down here to the Vantucky lands.
Right. And if you're going to be rash, make sure you bring plenty of ointment. Right? Squirrel.